Word.
My legs are sore.
What did you do?
Just been standing here for an hour.
Waiting for me to get there. I added up the math. On Tuesday, I moved 6,000 pounds worth of barrels.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
That's impressive. John's over there now?
By the way, Alex.
Yeah?
Feeling fine. I brought this up to Alex. I was like, "You think I'm going to hurt tomorrow?"
Oh.
He's like, "No, you hurt right now."
No, I was hurting yesterday.
Why?
Because the day before, this is what I did.
No.
Hold on.
Just once?
10 times.
Why?
Just to see if I could do it.
See if you could do that 10 times?
Yeah. I was
And then you were hurting?
Oh, no problem. This is super easy. Like, I'm spry all day. And then the next day, it's like, oh, shit. Yeah. That's an unhealthy amount of sore for a very little effort. Give me a few minutes to type it out, said Jared Green. You got it, buddy. You take all the time you need.
Yeah.
Brad Edwards.
Relax.
I've seen a Daniel Williams around the Patreon. Where is Rex Whittington, and what have you done with him?
That's funny.
Homing, what is the best kind of potato and why?
Oh,
Well, Kelly Nielsen had the right answer.
You know
it's the potato you like the way that you like it.
I have a disproportionate affection for sweet potato fries.
Okay, those are good.
But specifically, just sweet potato fries.
I think I heard once on the internet, so it's definitely true, that sweet potatoes, if you could only have one, type of food, like not a meal that had combined ingredients, but just one thing that was going to give you most of the nutrition you needed to not die on a desert island.
Could be sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes, yeah.
Huh,
That'll get you like most of the way there. You're good with sweet potatoes.
Hot damn.
Yeah, they taste pretty good.
Saul Carter, what are the next couple of releases? Ooh. I have an answer for this, and one of them is very exciting. Actually, they're both really exciting, but one of them is kind of expected. One's not. So one is the next batch 3 Wheated Eleanor, which is the one whiskey I keep buying, or 4. I mean, thank you. The
Wheated.
That's the one I keep drinking at the distillery. Like every time I go in for the last month, I get the Wheated because it's my favorite one. And batch 4 is coming out.
Wheated.
And it is a batch that was. We blended with a private group.
Oh, yeah.
And they only wanted 73 bottles. So the rest of the run that we created from that blend of a couple of barrels is going to go to you guys.
That happens like a couple times a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a private group will approach the distillers like, hey, we want to do a thing with our buddies, our business?
Yeah,
what is it
this
typically?
was all of a bunch of high-level execs at Dell.
At Dell. The Dell Children's Hospital, both of us have had very...
Yeah, actually, my son's going to be there tomorrow.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Errant is bottled. The first Errant release.
Yes, the Errant whiskey.
Errant barrel.
Their Errant whiskey barrel, yes.
We had to alter the label 3 times now for TTB, but it looks the same. It's just bullshit text that has to be changed.
Right.
And so, but they let us keep the age statement that's very specific.
Oh.
No one said anything yet. It's not technically allowed, but no one's caught it yet. And so it actually
Hold
says,
on.
here's how long it was aged in small barrels,
Right.
and here's how long it was aged in, we dumped it into a full-size barrel.
Okay, because we give people a hard time all the time whenever they get something on a label. It's like, wait a minute, that shouldn't have been. That's not okay.
We're trying to be more
but
transparent.
But we pulled shady shit too.
Yeah.
But it's because we're trying to give more details, not obfuscate.
And they just want a flat age statement. They don't like you splitting it up.
So
right, and so, but we did. So now this releases.
So our hypocrisy is totally justified.
Yeah, this releases a whole bunch of 5-gallon barrels that were getting over oaked that we dumped out, proofed down slightly, and re-entered into a used bourbon cask.
Yeah,
and then aged it longer, and it beats the 6, 13, 14-year-old Royal Bastard.
Okay, now. Here's the situation. Because you and I, we have not released the episode yet, but we just sampled
the gin.
This is barrel-aged gin. Yeah. This is the Apology put into new oak, 15 gallons.
They're already working on the label right now.
And, well, hold on a second. Are you going with your welcome?
Yeah.
Well, I was just kind of fucking around.
No, I think it's amazing. And it stays in context with the Apology. It's perfect consistency. And so underneath, instead of saying, we're sorry it's not whiskey, it's going to say, we fixed it.
Right.
So the Apology is sorry it's not whiskey, followed by...
We jumped over.
Yeah.
We blew past the headline. It's amazing.
Uh-huh.
It's
Barrel-aged gin.
right.
4 months old.
4 months old. And it is so we'll get into like more details and stuff whenever we get closer to actually being able to like put it in a bottle with approved labels and all that. But
Technically, this should be a distillery update anyway. But,
oh,
but we're doing questions.
yeah,
so
we got
why not?
questions. We got questions. It turned into in 4 months in a 15-gallon barrel through a Texas summer.
Right.
It turned into like 2/3 whiskey flavors, but it held on to 1/3 of the gin botanicals.
Yeah, most
And
barrel-aged
it's-
gin just destroys the gin.
Yeah.
It's just all barrel.
Right.
But,
And we almost didn't do an episode because if he would have told me this is 4 months old, I would have like, dude, like the vodka was double that amount of time in a much smaller barrel. It's like, what are we doing? It's way too early. Like, just taste it off camera. We don't need to do anything with that. And then, but you went into this thinking this was 11 months in.
Right.
And we're setting up cameras. We got microphones.
Yeah.
This is 11 months in a barrel, and we're about to, start shooting.
I just
And he
read the wrong line
He
out of it.
leans over, right before Alex pushes the button. He leans over and says, "Oh, by the way, this is 4 months old,
Yeah.
dude."
New plan.
No, but we tasted it. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even have to be a gin lover. It helps because the botanicals are there, but it turns into so much more of a whiskey-centric type of palate.
So the new label
Yeah.
is, instead of everywhere there was a clear sticker, it's black.
Okay.
And all the lettering is in white
Yeah.
on it with the same graphic of the woman.
Okay.
And then it says, "You're welcome, gin."
Yeah. So the apology
And-
is the unaged gin.
Yeah.
The blend that we proportionally voted on and got sourced from MGP, and then we aged that in the barrel, and it's going to be called "You're Welcome."
And then on the back it'll say, "We fixed it." And then on the back it'll say, "Aged 4 months."
Dude, that was crazy. It's only 4 months. Though.
I know.
So much impact.
Whiskey Bastard. Rex, please say, oh. Hello, the MB. Oh, he wants you to do his voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do it? Here's Rex's version.
Okay.
And then I'll do one, because that sounds kind of fun.
Hello. The MB you're calling for can't come to the phone right now. Please leave a message after the beep. And if you have to do any fighting, stealing, and drinking, you may do it with us.
Now do another one.
Well, that was
Yeah,
good.
no, you do another one.
What the?
Because this is different. I'm going to do something different.
I just gave everything on that, though. I just went all in. I have nothing left. All right. Hello. The MB you're calling for can't come to the phone right now.
Hey,
Please leave a message
Hey.
after the beep.
wait, what are you doing?
And if you have any
Hey.
fighting, stealing, and
Hey.
drinking,
What are you doing?
may,
We're supposed to be shooting an episode.
God damn it. Just leave a message.
Eric H. Yesterday I was smoking a cigar while drinking Ardbeg Wee Beastie, and the smoke and the whiskey disappeared. Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's
have
a
had
thing.
that experience many times. Have you experienced that? Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. That
that's-
smoky whiskey gets more interesting.
Well,
Subtle.
that's one of the reasons why people pair cigars so often with whiskey, because that will, yeah. I mean, like, it's a cigar and a whiskey is just a nice thing in and of itself, but in terms to get a different angle of exploration to explore the flavors coming out of that glass, a cigar is a good way to do it. Cigar lovers, though, will do it as a way to further explore the cigar. Whiskey lovers do it to get a different angle on the whiskey.
Carlos and Brandon both had a similar question. Carlos Cortez, how's the search for the distiller going? Brandon Knight, is John going to take over as head distiller? The answer is no. John is going to stay in the position that he's in, which is assistant distiller and production, head of production and process. I am taking over as head distiller, and we are searching for basically another John. But with John's secondary demand is assistant distilling, and his primary demand is bottling and production and barrel house. I want this person to have the same overlap, but their primary focus be on distillation,
right.
and their secondary focus be on supporting John in production.
So what kind of background, because this comes up a lot, and we have like a lot of people sending in emails,
Yeah.
some with distilling backgrounds, some with service industry backgrounds, some with brewery backgrounds. Like brewers and distillers, those are going to be
Yeah.
the most seamless fit. in
Those are
what's
easy.
going
I
on.
could look at those. But I got to tell you guys, and I think this comes up later, so I'm going to say it. If you don't live in at least the Texas, but preferably somewhere reasonably close to Austin, it's going to be a hard sell. And
That's not true at all.
For us.
That's not true at all. You were just telling me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the phone in bed talking like we do. Like we do.
Yeah.
Like
Why-
we do.
we both could cook a movie and we started at the same time so that we can watch it together.
Like we do.
Yeah.
And you said, man, you know what I really want? I want a roommate.
Oh God! How did I not see where this is going?
So-
yeah, no. Peter wants
So
a
if
roommate,
you're from out
so it can cut down
of state,
on his
if you're
rent.
from out of state and you have experience, it's not a problem.
No.
Because you can carpool with Daniel.
No. Oh God! Why are you doing the
Carpool
arm
with
massage? Oh, I told you I wasn't sore. No,
I'm
this
sore,
is
though.
look. I ran the numbers for like the distillers all around the state of Texas, and when I look at the math, like what most distillers in Texas are paying people to do what we're hiring for, those people could not get an apartment in Austin off of that. They're like 15 grand short of being approved for an apartment. So it's a hard sell if you're not in Austin.
Which is why cost of living, efficiency, roommates,
no,
carpooling.
I'm good. So here's what I would say.
He can make your dreams come true just by saying
At this point,
what's something he just wants it. Here's why
No.
he's not saying this. He's embarrassed.
You're
that he
making
wants
this
it.
video go
He's
so
embarrassed
long.
that he wants it, and he wants you to convince him that this needs to happen. But
Yeah.
really, he just wants it already.
No.
So it's not a hard sell.
No.
Just tell him you'll bring like a new washer and dryer, a really cool 4K flat screen.
oh, so not worth it.
And,
there's no amount. There's no amount. It would have to be a 6-figure investment. Oh no, I tell you what.
So there's a number.
If you're willing to buy my house, and then sign it over to me with no strings attached,
Dude.
I'll let you live in it for 1 year.
Dude, even a garbage house in Austin is like $250,000 right
I
now.
know. I'm renting right now. If you want to buy my house and give it to me for free, and you can live in one of the bedrooms for the next year.
But then here's an interesting dynamic, because then you are his landlord.
No, you got to give it to me before you move in. I'm your landlord.
This is like we're in negotiations here. I'm trying to make this happen for you. We're in negotiations
This is
here.
going on so long.
because it's so fun for me.
No, honestly, I'll tell you what. If you're in the Austin area, and one of my what I want right now, more than anything else,
Is a roommate.
is the Damn, I can't keep a straight face. Is the ability to act on your own, handle shit, and be smart enough that you can pick up on why things need to happen and anticipate, and be good at doing it on camera,
Right.
and be thinking about what you could be offering to Patreon and to the votes, and be looking at the process and seeing weeks before, hey, we're about to hit something that could be a really cool opportunity for episode or vote or something like that, because I can teach you running this still.
Okay. So let me translate for you everything he said. The being on camera thing, that's very easy. Just like relax and be willing to goof around and have fun. You'll be great. It's not a big deal. Now, all this proactive, stuff that he's talking about, in the roommate context,
Oh God, no.
it's basically making
Peter
sure that
Brockway.
you clean up the dishes after you use the dishes. You don't leave things laying around. These are just quality of life things that I think you can agree.
No.
In order to make this work.
Jesus. Peter Brockway, I really want Rex to say the holy and
What
magnificent
is with
leather
this request
chod.
for us to say stuff all of a
I
sudden?
don't know.
Uh,
No, we're not going to do it. No more. I already said all my words.
but it was me.
Yeah. No, and he said, and Daniel.
The holy and magnificent leather chod. I don't know if that's what he's looking for at all, but
Yeah.
we'll go to Al Young. There are fully bonded shipping companies that will ship anything to anywhere in any country. Have you ever approached any? Some have reasonable rates. Fully bonded means
No.
product delivered or they pay.
No, that's not what that means for liquor. It's not the same thing as what we need. Kevin Barber, what's Dex and Raniel's favorite thing to do outside of work and whiskey?
Man,
Dude, you just named the only two things I do with my life these days.
yeah.
Music, rock climbing, paddleboarding.
I have 3
Mountain
ki-
biking.
I have 3 kids. I have 3 kids.
My kids are old enough that I can rock climb, mountain bike, and paddleboard with them. So that's the stuff that we do on the side. And music is just my thing.
Yeah.
Michael Wilkinson, I'm not sure if I missed something on the Alchemy series. Isn't it a project Emma was doing? She is still doing it. She actually,
It's
blending.
That's a thing that's going to go well beyond Emma.
Yeah, but the first release, she took the samples home because those barrels have aged long enough that we need to reblend.
Right.
So she's going to be presenting me with okay, here's 3 recommendations you guys can vote on.
The Alchemy, Crowded Barrel Alchemy is going to become probably, if things go according to plan, one of the bigger, more important series that we have in anything that we release, because it can be a lot of different sources and blended proportions and
Yeah, right
scalable
now,
levels and
The first one is going to be a base of MGP light whiskey with a Texas whiskey to round it, and we already have the Texas whiskey and we have the light whiskey.
So, back in the day, I was talking about doing a potential series called Emma Blends, right? So, Bastard Blends, and I want to figure out what is the mechanism, Beater, to get people to submit their favorite at-home blends. This is, dude, you get like a little bit of Glenlivet and 3 drops of Lafroig and a little Bimego of something else, and it turns into something magical. Have, thank you, Dan, some user-submitted blends that we try here, and then maybe we do a little different angle on it. So Bastard Blends is something I definitely want to do, but
How did that start from alchemy?
Blends.
We've got a bunch of questions to get through.
Hey, I stood here for an hour.
Yes, did.
I did stand for a freaking hour. So I want to figure out what is the best platform, place, communication hub for people to be submitting those things so that we can kick off Bastard Blends.
Cole Boozer, have you thought about coordinating single barrel picks with Patreon members? Yeah, we already do that. Anybody wants to do that, just reach out to me. Daniel at crowdedbarrelwhiskey.com.
Parker DeMoss. Good day, Mr. Son, Mr. Mooch. No question. Today, just wanted to say, Peter, you're doing a great job. Chad be praised. Also, what the hell, Peter? I may have actually added that part at the end.
Ben, let's talk wood sugars. To get the most candy sweet taste in bourbon, how low do you take the barrel entry proofs? And the answer is under 115. Some will go as low as 105. You get lower than that, your loss is incredible. So I would say somewhere between 110 and 115.
Did anyone catch the pattern Q&A title? What's happened?
Yeah. That was voice to text, and I didn't catch it before I hit publish, and then I didn't notice it until you said something.
Kind of like how Facebook is now Meta.
Yeah.
Patreon is now
we're just
pattern.
changing that, yeah.
It's pattern.
Christopher Wick, there are cooking wines. Are there cooking whiskeys? We've said, honestly, that bourbon does the best at cooking with things, but yeah. AJ Beck, other than using the barrels for whiskey finishing, what's the plan for the brandy? I don't know. I think we're only going to end up with enough to fill one barrel. And it may not even be a full-size barrel. So we might end up with 2 15s. And I probably will make them new oak 15s so that we'll just see what happens with it.
Stephen Grace, I am going to be coming to Texas to visit family the week of Christmas, arriving around the 19th. What are you going to be doing? Are y'all going to be doing short days or closed days that we should avoid visiting? So
Richard and I are going to sit down and come up with the entire holiday calendar. We just decided on Thanksgiving, but we're going to post the whole holiday calendar everywhere on the social channels so you guys can see it.
Christmas definitely closed. Christmas Eve, we'll see. We'll see.
We've
That's part
already
of
sort of voted
if
no
it's opened at all, it would be very limited hours, but it may not be open at all. We'll see. Yeah.
Christmas is a Friday this year, right? It's a Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no point in being open for Boxing Day. Well, we could. It'd just be for drinks. It wouldn't be for bottle picking.
Doug Horton, are the days of happy accidents in whiskey making over? It seems like many positive things in whiskey were the byproduct of solving some practical issue, barrels, peat smoke, etc., and that some categories are defined by those happy accidents. Have things become so codified and scientific that these kinds of discoveries can only be made by intentional experimentation or quote-unquote rule breaking?
So most of the happy accidents weren't happy accidents like you're thinking. Most of them were intentional problem solving that resulted in an unexpected result.
Right.
I mean, like, they chose copper not because it was just sitting around, but because they knew that it conducted heat really well.
Right.
They didn't know that it also stripped things out. So usually what happens is in all these happy accidents is you are actively solving one problem and then you create something you weren't planning on addressing. And so that is still happening constantly, which is like, hey, we do this to solve this problem, and then this whole new thing shows up.
Jay Sulu, why is smelling the cork seen in wine, but less, if at all, in whiskey? What the hell, Beater?
It's because whiskey can't go bad in the bottle like wine can in the same way that wine can.
Well,
you can have a bad cork, but you won't be able to smell it.
So here's what I understand about wine and corks. Typically, the smelling of a cork, that's not really why they hand you the cork. They hand you the cork to pinch it, and if the cork is very firm, you're good. If the cork squishes too much, it's crumbly, then it's probably a bad cork and the wine may have spoiled. So they're handing you a cork to squish it. But even the servers that are handing you the cork, they don't know why they're doing it most of the time.
Yeah, and if you've spoiled, if the cork is spoiled, you can smell it, but yeah.
All right, we got Brian Calavi. If you suddenly found yourself in Kentucky, what distilleries would be your must visit? P.S. I'll likely be in Kentucky when you read this. Oh, nice.
Man, honestly, I'd say anything.
Yeah, there's like tons
Just
of
whatever
so
you're
many good
closest
ones.
to.
Tons of so many good
Oh, you know what
ones.
I would really want to do?
Hmm?
One of the coolest things is they have a Kentucky whiskey trail of bars in Louisville.
Yeah.
Where you can just go on one street and go down all these locations for different bars and things.
Right.
And at the bar, you get to try a whole bunch of different distilleries. So if it was me and I had a limited time, I would visit one of the big ones for like the really big, cool distillery experience, and then I go straight to that street and just bar hop.
Eladio Prado, can you talk a bit about the amalgamation whiskey from Moochfest? It's catching on. It's catching on. I can't remember what's in it.
you selected.
I blame Beater and all the tasting. Yeah, I blame Beater too.
All right, here's the rundown.
Definitely did not come from Beater.
15% Golden Promise malt, 4% Maris Otter, 22% Texas Munich malt, 2% Yellow Dent corn, 20% Bloody Butcher corn, 5% blue corn, 5% White Winter wheat, 5% Turkey red wheat, 6% Red Fief or Fife wheat,
Let's say 5.
2% Elbin rye, 10% Danko rye, 5% Renz Abruzzi rye.
Danko. I like the Danko. That was Dan. He just had that on hand. It's a screensaver on his phone. It's his wallpaper. That was not a clutch move by Beater.
Yeah. Neil, I have a small 5-gallon barrel 3 char and wanted to do some finishing. What do you guys go? What would you guys go to new? What?
And here's to making to Austin for a visit one day. I have a small 5-gallon barrel, 3 char, and wanted to do some finishing. What would you guys do to the new make? So what kind of finishing?
What kind of finishing?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, man. I don't know anything.
It
I
depends
really
on
like
what's going-
tawny port finishes.
Yeah, what kind of new make? I would do. You know what? I would want to do a rum, just as like a little pet project.
Just because.
Just a rum finished. Yeah. And a
Yeah.
really like a pot still rum, really rich and savory. Yeah.
Anthony Tubbs, did you try the port rice sent in the box? No, that was the Whiskey Rebellion. Nope, haven't opened it. I stuck it on the shelf for a review. If you want us to not review it, I'll open it sooner.
John McElwain, internship sounds like fun for creating video history curated stories. Excel sheet, track titans, and events. Would have to visit for educational purposes. Crosslink vault inventory to review segments. Share with app team. It's just a lot of it. That just reading that makes me
I don't feel like
tired.
that was a question.
Right.
Scott Friedland, I just picked up
So John McElwain is also known as Sir Long Juice
Sir Long Juice.
around here.
Okay.
The legend of Sir Long Juice.
Scott Friedland.
This tracks with most of the message we get from
Okay.
Sir Long Juice.
I just picked up 6 bottles of Single Mom at Fang and Feather. Man, it's delicious.
Nice.
Was hoping for a taste of batch 2. Unfortunately, there was none for tasting. Yeah, I got poured at the Mooch Fest.
Can I?
But,
Yes.
I am currently working on batch 3.
So can I tell you this right now?
You don't want to know about batch 3 Single Mom?
You want to hear about my secret shame?
You have secret shame?
I have secret
I didn't
shame.
realize you had secret shame. That was all public shame.
Well, no, I usually trot it out just for content purposes
Mm-hmm.
because it's funny. But my secret shame, I've not shared this.
Okay.
I have not tried
The batch 2. Baird's peated.
Single Mom Batch 2.
Huh. Oh, tough shit.
I surprisingly don't blame Peter. Blame you.
Should blame Deb because she was at the table pouring it at the bastard's
And we
ball.
had a long conversation.
Yeah.
I've seen Deb multiple times since the Bastard
I
Ball
know,
too.
and she didn't pour it for you at all.
She should have this in her back pocket, so she just
Yeah.
pours it anybody she meets.
You know what batch 3 is?
What is Batch 2?
3 5-gallon barrels of unpeated Maris Otter.
Oh, a little bit of the AB there.
And they're all 3 delicious.
Oh.
So what I'm currently doing is I blended all 3 together
Yeah.
to see if it ruins any of the individual 5 gallons.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, we're going to dump and have a 15-gallon run.
Dude, so there's an episode somewhere in there, or at least a segment, where you have the unpeated, exact same whiskey, peated, but peated 2 different ways. So you can see here's
The 3 versions.
just the single malt. Here's a single
Yeah.
malt with this kind of peat, single malt with that kind of peat. So you can
Yeah.
yeah.
And we have them all. We have all 3.
Okay.
I
Hey,
mean, we don't have the Baird's peated
Are
that
you
you can try.
writing this down, Beater?
All right.
There we go.
Question. Oh, we had multiple questions. What was the reason batch 2 wasn't bottled like the first? Because we didn't have enough,
Yeah.
and we wanted everybody at the Bachelor's Ball to get to try it. Question 2, will we be doing bigger batches in the future? Yes, we will be. Now that we have a full-size still, every Single Mom batch can be at least 1 full-size barrel, if not more.
We got John Perkins. I began my whiskey and scotch journey thinking I would like the sweeter end of the spectrum. Turns out I was totally wrong. I fell in love at first sip with Isla's and peat. I also began to identify the smell such as the bandage smell. There are two types, the plastic and the more cloth type. And I am now trying to expand into other spectrums. I have ventured into Lafroig, Sherry Oak, which is fantastic. Lagavulin, Offerman edition, and quite a few SMWS Isla's. That's the single malt Scotch malt whiskey. So that's what that means.
Yep.
Just for the layman. That's what that means.
Yep.
You're welcome. What direction would you recommend as baby steps towards the sweeter side of Scotch to adapt the palate to them? Also, Lafroig 10 years starting my love of Scotch. Shout out to Emma for her fine taste. Recommend some whiskeys for the guy.
Sweeter whiskeys?
Yeah, man. Well, the Glendronach is going to be like your big, dark, fruity thing.
Yeah, Aberlour and Glendronach are
But
easy.
a totally different angle and sweeter is going to be, the Glenfiddich 12, really.
Yeah.
Really simple and easy to love.
and not overly smoky.
Yeah, I'm looking at the wall.
Oban 14, lightly peppery, not overly smoky.
Yeah, we got a bunch of bottles on the wall here. That's what I'm looking
Deanston
at.
I really love, and theirs are really lightly honeyed and used bourbon. Auchentoshan 3 Wood. That's a good one.
What about the Belvini? The double one?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
Doublewood.
Yeah,
Any of the Balvini's other than Pete Week. Curtis Takahashi. I'm thinking about starting a monthly whiskey club with a couple of friends. I want to take them on a flavor journey, eventually ending in Islay. How long do you think it will take them from bourbon to peaty whiskey? Dude, mileage may vary. You might find somebody who the very, very first sip, they fall in love with it.
Super individual.
And some people may never get there.
Dennis and Jennifer Phillips, can you tell us when we can pick up the 12 Days of Whiskey?
I can't even tell you when I'm going to get the 12 Days of Whiskey. The boxes are supposed to be finished next week. And then they will be immediately drop shipped. And then we will get our hands on a box. And then we can start photographing it and things like that. So I'm desperately hoping first week of December. That's what I'm hoping, that we can put up the pre-orders on the first week of December.
Craig Findley. So changing the name from Bastard's Ball to Moonshaz.
God, why are we still talking about this?
Since the whiskey nerds tend to be the people that bring the whiskeys to drink and tend to get very annoyed with the mooches. No, they don't. Isn't it a bit of a bad idea to lay out your plan of the year in advance? It seems like next year could be more like The Empire Strikes Back, where Luke gets his hand cut off. Whiskey needs to be shared and should represent the people's. Kindly changed. No. Specifically because Craig ruined it. No, Craig, because you. That's why. Craig. Like it was voted on before.
Right.
And give us Rex Month instead. No.
Yeah.
Moochfest, Craig. Forever. Because Craig. What the hell, Craig?
Jesus.
That's the new what the hell.
Craig, I'm going to step in here and help you out. Mitch Whittle, so what type of person are you
Craig.
looking for the new master distiller? Mitch, we talked about that a little bit.
Also, Craig.
Gabriel Villanueva, can we start the 2022 with Rex Month? We got too many donated whiskeys
But then
to get
Craig
through. We
chimes
can't
in.
take
Hold on,
time
I'm
off.
still on Craig.
Jesus.
Then he chimes in. FYI, he's trying to be funny in the post above, by the way, not hoping for anything bad to happen, but to make sure to keep the people bringing the free whiskey.
Too late. You already made something bad happen.
That's right, Craig.
Rex won't shut
that
up.
ship has sailed, Craig.
That's the bad thing that happened. Joseph Turcott, I applied to be your distiller. Oh, yeah. Joseph, I got your email. We haven't replied to everything. What about having a still off with all the applicants? No,
it
because what I
top
mostly need you
pot.
to do is follow instructions. So there's not really a competition there.
But content.
Yeah. It's like you followed instructions badly, so you didn't make it.
I don't know. You know that blacksmithing show where they blacksmith a thing and
No.
okay, so you'll have blacksmiths and they'll have like here's a Scottish Claymore. Look, man, I stood here for an hour in this spot right here for an hour. You can wait for me to talk about the blacksmithing competition show. I don't know what it's called. I forget what it's called. Dan, do you know what this is called? What? The blacksmithing show. The blacksmith competition. Forged in Fire. Thank you, Dan. That's the best, Dan. So it'd be like that.
No. I think there's content, but it's not that.
No, it's that, though. Forged in Fire.
Brian
It's
Edmond, I think I finally have someone to pick up bottles. Who do I email? Richard.
Stilled in.
Richard is head of the tasting room. He's the
Fire.
manager. Richard at crowdedbarrelwhiskey.com.
Stilled in Fire. There's no fire involved, but
Dylan Brooksvort. Nice name.
Craig.
My wife and I are going to be in the UK in December. Are there any whiskeys I should be on the lookout for that aren't distributed in the U.S.? Man, a lot. But look for like small or distillery releases instead of like the ones you recognize when you see them.
Lorenzo Rodriguez. You guys are arguably both number 1 and number 2 on YouTube for whiskey channels. What are some of the things that you attribute to this success? My money is on Daniel's extensive spreadsheet.
Yeah, no, it's not it. Blind luck was what started it, and then very, very, very intentional making decisions after that is what kept it growing.
You have a fun narrative. Karine de
No,
Patra.
that's the story.
More Brianna. Thank you. She was here yesterday. You missed her, man. What the hell? Or I say, ma'am. What the hell? Alan, you mentioned errant in one of your lenses. Do you have an estimate on a release date?
Yep, the day we get approval is the day we start printing stickers, and then it's about 6 days before they ship to us. So I would say Thanksgiving-ish.
Okay. Is also working to find more Will It Distill episodes. So we have the coffee episode, and we have the durian fruit episode, and the additional episodes. So I can give you guys a heads up. Near the end of the year, probably in December, we're going to have a few back-to-back list episodes. Probably going to fill out like the quintessential, the classic whiskeys.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so we'll do a few back-to-back of those episodes because we can produce them pretty efficiently, and that'll buy us time to finally spend some energy, some effort, some resources, some of our limited bandwidth on getting a new series called something that we haven't really landed on yet, and then also Will It Distill. But, yes, I understand that, but that's the working title. What the hell, Peter? What the hell? Also, Craig.
Christina Van Ness.
Craig or Greg? This is the most important thing happening right now.
Not. Christina Van Ness comments, did
Craig?
you miss me?
Craig? What the hell,
Jesus.
Craig?
Christina asked if we missed her.
Who is Christina Van Ness?
I don't know. Evidently somebody who was involved
I
in
know,
the-
Peter.
Wasn't she
What
early
the
on?
Dude, it's a bit. Don't answer me. God, this fucking guy said it's a problem. I know.
I'm pretty sure Christina, was she around in the first episodes?
No.
Like back in the early days of the channel? That was probably back when, I don't know. I seem to remember something.
Hey, you want to really mess with Peter? Because you want to.
I would have to care enough.
Ask in his presence somebody else in the room about F1
Oh.
or corn,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's about fair.
and just watch him.
Like, there's no real difference between corn and rye, right? I mean, they're just grains.
Watch him freak out.
Chris DeLeo, with supply issues and inflation, how bad do you think the scarcity and price of scotch will be? Oh, I did hear one thing that was kind of okay. I don't know how much of a secret this is or if it's a discussion that's open right now, but inside the distilling industry, I was having a talk with a friend who I will not name. He said right now, the producers of malt,
Was it Jared from Oconus?
nope.
It's always Jared from Oconus.
Right now, the producers of malt are having one of the worst years that they can remember in the last, 50, 60 years.
Oh, you mean the actual farms?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, the barley, not only is it coming in at way under all spec by a lot,
Right.
but the proteins and everything that's in the grain that makes it good for distilling is so bad that by their current estimate, they're going to have about 1/12 to 1/20th of the needed malt demand for the current market if it doesn't grow.
Now, are these specific to a country?
No, most people who are getting barley are getting it in, especially if you get malted barley or peated barley or
Because
right?
they grow
No, this
barley
is-
in Ireland. And
this
they
is an American
grow it in
problem,
America-
too.
An American problem too.
It's across the board. There is,
Is it?
and on top of that, there are whole other rounds of scarcity. So, like right now, there's a couple organizations in the U.S. that are all getting together and trying to figure out what do we do, because the big guys are going to have problems meeting demand, and the little guys may not even be able to get barley. Period. Like, what happens now?
I adopt the fall off a truck policy.
So we'll see.
Because basically, with our run size right now, things fall off a truck, we're fine.
Yeah.
So we just need goons. You know what? Distillers and goons and shroom guys. If we can get,
It's like trying to go back to Prohibition era.
but we get the distiller, then we get goons to get us the barley for the distiller, and then a shroom guy.
Nope. This is taking a really long time to get to these questions. I have so much to do today.
What are you talking about? We're giving these each question
No, you're tangenting like a 4-year-old.
the time and attention needed
Dalton Van Pelt. Where are you
Craig?
guys starting your search? Oh, where? I don't know. With you guys was where we started it. We're gonna
Yeah,
have to move
on
on
the
though.
channel, and then I think we did
But it didn't-
newsletter, and
Yeah, that didn't work. So we're moving. We're gonna have to change
well,
plans.
we're still going through the list there, and we'll see.
We haven't had a new email since you and I went through it last.
We have Kelly Nielsen. How's my 5149 rye barrel?
Oh,
coming
that's right. Did claim a barrel for some reason.
Also, do y'all know of any distilleries using a peated barley for the barley portion?
I
of a
remember
bourbon
Kings
mash
County.
bill? Kings County?
And
Okay.
somebody else is too, but I don't remember who. I've heard of at least 2, maybe 3.
Matt says New Riff in Kings County.
Oh, good. Well done, Matt.
Justin Toes. Whiskey has become my favorite go-to adult beverage, with rum being in second place. Are there any whiskeys that you know of that are finished in rum barrels? And if so, can you describe the difference in nose and palate?
No, Angel's Envy Rye is the only one I know of offhand. I know there are others. I can't think of them. And no, it's nice.
So
It's sweeter.
it's sweeter, and then in some of them you actually get a rummy. Like it's like, oh wow, there's a rum wrapper around this whiskey center.
Jay Sula, what's the status on gin being on shared pour? I don't know yet. Stay tuned.
We just been
We're so focused on 12 Days
12
of Texas.
Texas whiskey. Yeah.
Thomas Elmer, good morning, gentlemen. Since we bought the still for Deb, and then she left, and then Emma filled in. Now with Emma leaving, are you going to get Deb back to do the run on the news still? No.
She was here on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
She asked, it's like, so do you have a line on a new distiller yet? I said, we got rid of Emma because you said you wanted to come in, Deb.
Yeah, you said you're going to be working. You start Monday.
It's like, what the hell are you talking
Look at panic.
What? Craig?
Yeah. Thomas Elmer, hey, boys. Wait, I brought a bottle to the Bachelor's Ball, but you said no bottles after October 1st, so I put it out at the La Quinta, and now I find out you expected bottles at the ball.
No, we did not.
That's frustrating.
We did not.
No, we
he's
didn't
not calling from Oz.
expect it. We found out it was happening and just sort of
Rolled.
couldn't stand against it. There were too many people.
Spencer Volden. Now the Emma's gone. Who do I ask about when I need to pick up bottles I have purchased online? I live in Wisconsin and blah, blah, blah.
If it's a Patreon thing, then Madison. If it's just you ordered it online and the tasting room is holding it, then Richard. And they're both their name at crowdedbarrelwhiskey.com.
Ryan Mullally, sup, fellas? Daniel versus Rex Thumb War. And 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare Thumb War. Let's get it on. So I would typically not do this. But you said we need to stretch the time out. We're going too quickly. We're going too quickly, so you have to pad.
My God,
We have to pad this. Now, my only question is, are snake bites allowed?
What's a snake?
I'll show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare Thumb War. All right, you
What's
do
a
that.
snake bite?
That's
No, that doesn't count.
That's a snake bite. I got you.
It doesn't count as the answer. Just a Turcotte, since they only have 2 stills, it could be bring your own still by way of for the still off. I'm actually working on how to tie in that old 26-gallon batch still into our new chiller, because I could run both of them side by side and be working on 2 products at the same time.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blake Vibrick. I'm finding that I'm really enjoying sherry finished whiskey lately. Ooh, Andalusia and the Teeling 14. Nice. Any other? We already recommended sherry casks, actually. So just rewind.
Blake Vibrock, for when y'all make gin, are y'all going to soak the botanicals, then redistill, or use a gin basket?
I'm going to soak the botanicals. That's my preferred version.
David Parks, sorry for the long question. Just bought a bottle from the SMWS 11-year corn whiskey mash bill. 80% corn, 8% rye, 12% malted barley, aged in new jarred oak. So when does a bourbon become corn whiskey and vice versa? And this would seem to fit the bourbon category.
It mostly has,
Cheers.
if you only use used oak and the corn's at least 80%, now it's corn whiskey. That's really the main differentiator.
And we got David Parks. Cheers code is CW1.2 Kentucky Distilled and matches Heaven Hill Corn Whiskey Mash Bill. Elix, would you recommend Ardbeg 10 or Port Charlotte 10 for an Isla beginner? For a beginner, don't worry. Lafroig is after. So Ardbeg 10 or Port Charlotte 10? I'm a sucker for a Port Charlotte, man.
Yeah, I think between those two, I really love Port Charlotte 10.
And also, because it's harder to find, it just feels
It
more
makes it more
special
fun.
to
Yeah,
me.
that's
Yeah.
true. Bill Hoffman, I've mostly been a bourbon drinker, but wanting to explore Scotch, recently found some Ardbeg and Glenfiddich The Ardbeg is the 10, Anoa, and Wee Beastie. What would you recommend in that order? 10, Wee Beastie, 10, Anoa. And then the Glenfiddich has 12, 15, 18, and I would just say take that by year age.
Justin Seymour, what prerequisite classes or schools would you recommend before taking the whiskey sommelier class?
Honestly, I would just say do a lot of drinking and tasting. The Bourbon Steward program with Moonshine U is fucking awesome. That's a Stave and Thief, guys, but it's run by Moonshine U. The Edinburgh Whiskey Academy has online courses that are really cool. There's a newer one out of LA that's just some reading and taking a test. That's pretty cool, at least the first level. But basically just read a lot, drink a lot, take notes, think about it, prep, and then take some of the online courses that you can get your hands on.
Nathan Deckingham, can I please do something with the data you are collecting when you distill? I would love to tie it to the tasting notes and barrel types, etc. So the
I mean,
the
we can
spreadsheet
make
stuff?
that public. There's no reason
Sure.
to keep it private.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with the spreadsheets.
No, we have a distillation spreadsheet that's like 30 columns wide, and it tracks everything from barometric pressure at beginning and end of the distillation run,
Right.
and humidity at the beginning and end of a distillation run.
By the way, that's the game plan. If you ever like die in a car crash or something,
Right.
the next move is, oh man, this sucks. I'm really sad. That's so bad. Who are we going to get to handle the spreadsheets and deal with the taxes?
Peter handles spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Your brother will handle the taxes.
My brother will not handle the taxes.
Yeah, he won't have a choice. He'll be in mourning. It'll be his way to connect with me emotionally post
Right.
my passing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you see that though? The moment of mourning. Did you see that?
It felt like a
But you
A
saw that.
pity mourn.
No, you saw that though.
Yeah.
You saw it. Like I was sad.
You saw it. And I missed the price of the 12 days offering. It's $160. I mean, that's the plan. $160.
Right.
Samuel Strasbow, thanks a lot, you two. Now I drink gin and whiskey because Crowded Barrel got me hooked on both. You're
Gin's
welcome.
good, man. Yeah.
What will the aged gin be like? Any news? Well, you
Dude.
got a lot of news.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it was so annoying during the shoot because this is me padding the episode.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Why are you? Quit rubbing the.
You're welcome. Because we need
God,
more.
yeah.
You just want to make this.
We
long.
have. Holy shit. We don't have an HR. Emma was HR, and Emma left. No.
During that shoot with the
Damn
barrel
it.
aged gin, we took the gin out and we're tasting it, and we made the horrible mistake.
Yeah, of letting
inviting Alex and Brianna come
Let
up.
them try
it's like,
it.
oh, this is great, guys, try it. They came up and they go back behind the camera,
Just chatty Cathy's.
and like directly behind the eye line of the camera, you see these people going. And I asked them after the fact, what the hell were you guys talking about? It's super distracting. It's like, oh, we're just trying to figure out what the flavors were
in the
in
aged
the
gin.
gin. Like, oh, okay. Well, then I think it's probably really good beyond just whiskey nerd good, because they would not literally shut up about it. Daniel, we've got a few more. I think we really got to stretch them out.
Did
Stretch
you
'em out.
gents receive William Shapert, the small box I shipped in one of my donations? There were 2 items in it. Man, you got to be more clear. It's been a while. Email me.
We're just wondering if you have a plan for them. Jared Green, I posted my question as a comment on this post just a minute or two after this was posted, and an MB replied to the comment, so I know it was actually posted. But now that I'm scrolling through these comments again, I don't see my question. I'm not too familiar with Patreon. Is this a common occurrence?
We did Jared Green. He was the very, very first one that said, give me a few minutes to type it out. And then we never heard back. So maybe you didn't hit submit?
I don't know. Cody Trahan. Is there any American distilleries doing a Berclotti Waterford vintage style release of whiskey?
No, not
Farms,
really.
area of grain, origin, vintage year releases, etc.
Not typically.
Not that I know of. I'm going to go all the way up to the tippy top, and it was Jared Green. And the only thing he said was, give me a few minutes to type it out.
That's what I just said.
So we got that, Jared. And you know what happened, which I'm very glad that it happened because we needed to pad out this episode. Because Alex was just right there, ready to push the button. He was right there. We had 2 more questions left, and we could have ended the episode, but he sensed.
And then you left.
This is how much of a professional he is. He sensed that we needed the extra time because if we don't hit at least 45 minutes, then Patreon doesn't disperse any of the funds. This is a rule that most people didn't know. Why would you get naked before you leave?
Because I'm leaving them behind. They've been tainted by this bullshit video shoot.
Speaking of, you mentioned that you've ruined a couple of your shirts.
I did. I ruined a couple of my V-neck black shirts.
I got your back.
How?
I got you. It's coming. It's
You got me something?
I got you a shirt.
What is it?
It defies description.
Is it a full bodysuit?
You'll see.
Oh. Is it a half shirt?
You'll see.
Is it sequined?
So, and then here's what I just appreciate about Alex even more. So much a professional that it goes to the point to where he knows we're done. He knows we've been done for like probably 3 or 4 minutes.
We had one more question, but it's
3 or 4
fine.
minutes. Did we have one more?
Yeah, Austin Fulmer with Thanksgiving coming
that's
up.
the all that I had whenever I,
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I was here. This is me padding again. You're welcome.
God damn it.
Welcome. This is what I do for you.
Ah!
I was here an hour earlier, standing here, not doing anything, just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
So I loaded the questions, and it was before these came in.
We've got 3 more. Austin Fulmer, with Thanksgiving coming up, my family only drinks Crown and Coke. Dad drinks on ice. What do I bring?
Crown
and Coke.
Yeah.
And then something for yourself.
Yeah.
Ace Johnson, Whiskey Tribe video idea, best whiskey for eggnog. I hate eggnog and I hate eggnog, period.
Right.
And Rex is allergic to eggs.
Well,
That's going to be a tough episode.
My kid is allergic to eggs.
Well, but you know what I mean.
My hatred of
You're
eggs.
emotionally allergic to
My
eggs.
hatred of eggs translated into my DNA, which gifted my offspring. With
Maybe it'll be a guest
egg
hosted
allergies.
episode where there's 2 other people doing it.
Do you like eggnog?
And we heckle them.
Eggnog? Dan likes eggnog. Maybe we have
Oh, yeah,
Alex,
you guys do an eggnog video.
Alex still sitting down? Not.
We'll run the cameras. I've already proven that I'm good at it. I ran a camera for a whole episode and I nailed it.
All right.
Right, Alex?
Can I
I nailed it.
admit something right now?
Alex was like, I'm worried about keeping my job because Daniel's so good at this.
You know, I'm gonna.
He may not need me anymore.
I'm gonna admit something right now.
What?
So I've been like doing this bit where I keep making the episode super long, but now my legs really hurt
Yeah.
because I was standing for an hour before you got here. So I kind of just like.
No, what Dallas Phillips said, what's the minimum time to produce a decent whiskey? Like for mini barrels? I'd say if it's a mini barrel, anywhere from 2 to 6 months, and then the oak is going to take over and it's not going to be worth it anymore.
All right, was that it?
That's it.
All right, we're done now. Bye.